What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this very quick review of Married at First Sight, the Decision Day episode. So I just got done watching Decision Day. I thought I was going to come up here, make a video really quick, and then I'm going to go back, watch the reunion, and then come back and do the video for the reunion. And then I'm going to put both videos together and post them as one. Because the reason why I had to come up here real quick and talk about Decision Day before watching the reunion is because I don't want my feelings or my impressions of Decision Day to be affected by what I see on the reunion or what I'm about to see on the reunion. Okay, so a few days ago, I had heard a rumor that everybody was going to say yes on Decision Day. And I didn't believe it because Married at First Sight has never had a track record like that where every single couple said yes. So I didn't believe it. I didn't put too much thought into it. I didn't even talk about it on my channel because I was like, yeah, I don't think that doesn't sound right. Married at First Sight has never ever had that happen where all the couples said yes. I don't think so. Maybe it's happened a long time ago because I don't think I was watching it seasons 1 and 2. So maybe it happened then. I don't know. So when I just got done watching it, and I was like, wow, that rumor was correct. It was accurate. So I had to come up here and talk about it. I don't think that these couples should have said yes. Maybe for one couple, possibly, but the others, no. None of these couples should have said yes. Let's talk about Josh and Jaylen. Jaylen should have said no. She should have said hell to the no and ran off that damn stage or whatever. She should have said no. First of all, Josh is dishonest. He says things just to appease her. He says things that he thinks that she wants to hear. You don't know where Josh is coming from. You don't know how Josh is really feeling about anything because he's dishonest and he lies unnecessarily. These are the red flags that Jaylen needs to pay attention to, but she's going to completely ignore them. These are the red flags that Jaylen needs to pay attention to. The whole Burning Man thing. He has a very unnatural obsession about Burning Man. On Decision Day, Pastor Cal said something about, we have this attachment to things that helped us find out who we were, or an attachment to things that where we found, I don't know what he said. He was trying to spin it to make it look like it's not that weird and crazy that this person is so obsessed with Burning Man, but it didn't work. Pastor Cal, why would you say that? It's not normal for someone to be this attached and obsessed about a particular event. And for him to like beg and plead for his wife to come with him after she's repeatedly had said, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to do that. Please don't ask me anymore. It's unnatural for him to be this obsessed with Burning Man. I'm sorry, it is. I don't think that he should not go. Of course, he should still attend it if he wants to, but he shouldn't be so crazy about it to where he's like, putting all of this emphasis on this event, on how it's the only way for him to find community. It means so much to him. That's weird. Okay, that because events come and go. What if they stop making, or if they stop doing Burning Man? What is he going to do with himself then? If there is no more Burning Man, like what is he going to do with himself? It's just weird. And I didn't like how Pastor Cal tried to spin it and make it look like it was something completely healthy and normal. Now in episode 12, when Josh and Jaylen went out to dinner and were having like their last discussion before Decision Day, he had said that Burning Man is not going to be the same for him if Jaylen cannot go with him. So I thought that meant he wasn't going to go anymore. And Jaylen did say, I'm not telling you to never go, but like, we're going to have to find other things to do. So you can go 1 year and then the next year we'll take a vacation or something together. So maybe that was her giving him permission to still go, because I was surprised that this Burning Man thing came up on Decision Day. Like they're still talking about this on Decision Day. They have been talking about Burning Man from the honeymoon all the way up until Decision Day. They've been talking about Burning Man. It has been a nonstop conversation about this event, and it's just strange to me. So he brings up the whole thing with Burning Man, and Josh is hoping that Jaylen is going to change her mind about Burning Man and that she's going to see it the way he sees it and get out of it all the things that he gets out of it. And this is what he said on Decision Day, and Jaylen really didn't say much of anything. Jaylen did say that one of their issues was trying to find like trying to find a way to like things in common, trying to find things in common. She said that that's going to be one of the things that they're going to have to work on. I think this whole situation was just weird. He's dishonest. What did he lie about during the season? That, oh, the social media thing, saying that he did not have that he had blocked his ex when he really didn't block his ex. Like, why would you have to lie about that? And Jaylen made it perfectly clear that her issue wasn't the fact that him and his ex were following each other. Her issue was, why did you lie about it? Why couldn't you just have been honest with it and we could have, talked about it? The fact that she said yes, it's just, there's too many red flags with this man. Too many red flags. Yeah, too many red flags. Let's move on to Rhonda and Pat. Pat showed up to decision day wanting to say no. He showed up to decision day knowing that he was going to tell her no, he wanted a divorce. And Rhonda picked up on it because she said that she could tell from his body language that he wasn't going to say yes. So they get to talking, and I don't know if Pat felt guilted by Rhonda and the experts. I don't know what the hell is going on, but he ended up changing his mind and said that he wanted to stay married to her. No, Pat, wrong answer. Wrong answer. This should have been an easy peasy no. Once again, here's someone who is ignoring all of the red flags in his partner. This woman is going to, I don't know. I'm not even going to go that far as to say that. Pat should have said no. He should have said no. They were never happy. The whole entire season, they were never happy. From the honeymoon, they were never happy. She was upset with the fact that he would dominate the conversation, make everything about him, completely disregard what she's also ignoring a red flag in him. The fact that he doesn't acknowledge the things that she's talking about. Like, she'll reveal something really deep and emotional and very meaningful for her. He completely misses that and goes off to talk about other things. She's also ignoring red flags. And I would think that people at this age would have been like, you know what? I'm too old to be living in misery and to be settling for less. So yeah, it's going to be a very hard no for me. They both should have said no to each other. Rhonda should have said no to Pat. Pat should have said no to Rhonda. Derek and Megan, absolutely. Derek and Megan. You know what? The thing about Derek and Megan, I'm hoping and praying that the pregnancy and the baby will eventually change her. That she will stay this way, because ever since she found out that she was pregnant, she's been a lot easier to digest. Okay. Before, she was a raging bull, and I was really scared for Derek. But ever since she found out that she was pregnant, she's been a whole lot calmer, and I hope that having the baby and being a mother is going to keep her being calm. But the problem with them saying yes is, I don't know if they were really saying yes to be with each other, or if they were saying yes because they were expecting a baby. When they announced to the experts that they were having a baby, that she was pregnant, they were shocked, which is kind of confusing to me, because I thought the experts watched the footage that's been recorded before it airs. I thought that they watched that at some point before decision day. I thought that the experts watch the footage of what's been happening, because whenever the experts meet with them, they will say, oh, I've seen that things haven't been going very well with y'all. I've seen the footage. So I was surprised that they didn't know, unless they didn't talk about it on camera and only talked about the pregnancy when they were like doing their own not selfies, but when they were just recording themselves, when they were away from production, just recording themselves. Maybe that's what, I don't remember if they talked about their pregnancy. I'm assuming they did talk about the pregnancy on camera with production, but for whatever reason, the experts didn't see that. So the experts were really surprised. The only thing is, I just don't know if they really want to be together because they really like each other, or if they want to be together because of the fact that they're having a baby. So that one right there to me is kind of like in a gray area. Chad and Belinda. Belinda, you should have said no. Belinda, girl, you should have said no. Before I got to really figure Chad out, I liked him a lot. And I still like Chad. I like him. Just because these people shouldn't be together doesn't mean that I hate them or I don't like them. I still like Chad. But I just think that the way Belinda is and what I think she's gone through in her previous marriage, I think she's used to very dominating men. She's used to men who don't really let her be herself. She's used to men who silence her, who make her feel like, she can't really come out of her shell. And she always has to like accommodate to them. She has to make herself be what they want her to be. But I thought it was an issue when she said that every night he has to have a drink to be able to go to sleep. I thought that was an issue. I don't know why she's ignoring that. I don't understand why he can't sometimes, I maybe not every single night, but I don't understand why he can't do the very simplest things to make her happy, such as, just cuddling with her in the bed, sitting in the bed with her to watch TV or to talk. I don't see why he can't do that. And he uses the dog as an excuse. The argument that they had about the dog at Chad's house was ridiculous. And I think it's indicative of their future. I think it was two and that argument was so ridiculous to me. It was so ridiculous that they would be arguing about whether or not the dog was barking all day. And she was trying to diffuse it and she was trying to let him know, I know my dog and he doesn't bark all day. But he kept on insisting that the dog did bark all day. And how would he know if he wasn't home all day with the dog? That to me was a red flag. Like, why are we arguing about whether or not the dog is barking? Like, what are we doing? And then him being upset with production, unnecessary. He's too grown to be this out of control with his emotions. He's just too grown for this. And then for him to I don't know if he made up the lie or if he misunderstood Josh. The whole thing about trying to convince Belinda that production is trying to destroy Josh and Jaylen's relationship, that wasn't brought up. I wish I was, well, they did bring it up with Dr. P, and of course Dr. P kind of like brushed it off like, oh, it's no big deal. That was concerning to me. That was very concerning to me that Belinda completely ignored his reaction to things that should not have made him so reactive. I understand that, production gets in the way of your lives, production gets in the way of your work schedules, but you sign up for this. Okay, they're not going to work around your schedule. It's just not going to happen. There's millions of dollars at stake. They're not going to try to accommodate you and appease you. There's contracts that were signed that probably, I'm pretty sure, have said in those contracts, your life is going to be turned upside down. We're not going to change our schedule for you. Things are going to change at the drop of a dime, and you have to be ready for that. Schedules are going to change. Filming schedules are going to change. That's just how it is. You can either accept it or not accept it. So that was just Belinda ignored too many red flags with this man. Too many red flags. Who else? Will and Britney. I have mixed feelings about Will and Britney. I have very mixed feelings about them. On the one hand, I think that I was sort of happy that they both said yes because I thought back to the wedding day and how I fell in love with them as a couple. I didn't see the issues with Will that everybody else saw. I felt like he did act very condescending. Um, but I felt like he was making changes. If he would have stayed in that condescending mode, it would have been an issue. But I felt like he was aware of the things that he was doing and he was trying to change. And she wasn't acknowledging that. And Britney, I think, is so immature that she thinks that if she tells Will, if she questions everything he says, that he's going to be like, oh my God, Brittany, I'm so sorry. I said it that way. I love you. I love you with all my heart. I'll die for you. I'll do anything for you, Brittany. And she wants him to fall down to his knees and be like, Brittany, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you more than life itself. I think she thinks that that's how he should react. When she questions, well, do you love me? Is it out of obligation? Is that how you really feel about me? Can you explain further what you mean when you said this and when you said that? The way that she dissects and analyzes and questions everything, she thinks that she's going to get a different reaction from him. But Will is a grown man and he's going to react the way he wants to react and he's not going to fall for her traps. And he's still going to stay true to himself and who he is. But I did see him making slight changes. where he was like, I apologize that I said it that way. I should have said it differently. You were right. I was wrong. It came out the wrong way. And I'm glad that she understood, because she even mentioned on decision day that this is just all a learning process for them. They're just trying to learn each other. Of course. Um, so with Will and Brittany, I need her to mature a lot. I need her to develop a tougher skin, and I need him to be more mindful of how he says things. He could be right in what he says, but he just needs to change the way he says it. When he says things like, well, yeah, I love you today, but I don't know if I'll love you tomorrow, or I would say yes today, I just don't know if I'd say yes tomorrow. No, we're going to stop all that. We're going to quit that. That doesn't come off the way that's not landing the way you think it's landing. Okay, no one's going to quite understand your abrasiveness and your bluntness. You're dealing with a woman. Women are very emotional. We have feelings, and you need to kind of tweak how you say things. Because instead of saying, I'll say yes today, but I don't know if I'll say yes tomorrow, you should say, I'm definitely would say yes today. And I hope that I'm going to say yes tomorrow. And I hope that we say yes to each other on decision day or whatever the situation is. Tweak it just a bit. Okay. Just a bit, not so blunt. So I just got done with decision day. Believe it or not, y'all, in my personal opinion, and this is probably an extremely unpopular opinion, I'm a little bit happy that Will changed his mind. Oh, that's another thing that I wanted to say. So when Will told her no the day before decision, or the morning of decision day, and when he told her no by calling her and telling her that, I felt, like I said in my last review, I thought he was going to tell her no on the phone and go home. It kind of surprised me. And someone I said in my comments, well, he's probably contractually obligated to show up on decision day in order to get, his money out of the show. So what was the point of calling her then? And the whole thing of preparing her, like, oh, maybe he called her to kind of like prepare her for the blow of him saying no. I think the way that they were going, Brittany had doubts. She already had doubts of him saying yes. So I don't think she had to be prepared. I think she already had doubts that he was going to say no. And the whole thing made no sense to me. You said no on the phone, but then you show up and then you end up saying yes. She did a great job in changing his mind. Brittany came there to win her man back. She came there. She was like, okay, I'm not going to be Brittany, the little girl anymore. I'm not going to be Brittany, the overanalyzer. I'm not going to be all up in my head and in my thoughts. I'm fighting for this man. I'm going to say whatever I need to say to get my man back. That's how she showed up on decision day. She came up there to fight for this man. And she did that. Everything she said, she poured her whole heart out. She acknowledged the mistakes that she made, that she shouldn't have questioned his feelings or shouldn't have questioned what he said when he would tell her how he felt about her. She was over analyzing. She was underappreciative of, this is according to her. I'm not saying this is what I think. This is according to her, that she should have appreciated him more. She took advantage of the situation, thinking that, he was going to do what she wanted him to do. And she had to meet him where he was at, just like he had to meet her where she was at. That she wasn't going to change him or turn him into something that she wanted him to be. She has to accept him for who he is. And luckily, Will is willing to change. So with Will and Brittany, I know this is unpopular. I'm a little bit happy that they said yes. For him to cry while she was talking to him, while she was pouring her whole heart out to him. And she kind of like even forgot about production being there. She forgot about the experts being there. It was just her and him, a man and a woman pouring her heart out to a man. She didn't see nobody else. She didn't hear nobody else. While she was pouring her heart out to him, he was crying. Like he was really listening to her and feeling what she was saying. And it was, it was what it was. And I think that the feelings between Brittany and Will are real. Oh, one more thing that I got to add about Chad. When Chad got down on one knee and he gave her those damn flowers, like those damn flowers made an appearance again. When he got down on one knee, or when he got down on his knees and he was like, what did he say? He asked her, will you stay married to me? That was so performative to me. That was so intensely performative. I don't think that it was genuine. I didn't think that it was like his whole love bombing thing. It's performative. It's love bombing. It's manipulative. That's what we want to say. It's very manipulative, but she ends up saying yes, which I feel like she really shouldn't, but who knows. So now I'm going to go watch the reunion and see what that's all about, and I'll be back with my thoughts on that. What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight Season 9, the reunion episode. So I watched the Decision Day episode before I even saw the reunion or did whatever this is what I'm doing here. So I watched the Decision Day episode. I'm attaching that video right before this video, and I'm putting them together as one, just to go ahead and knock it all out the park. And I didn't want to watch the reunion before I did my review for the Decision Day episode because I didn't want the reunion to influence or affect what I had to say about Decision Day. So when I watched the Decision Day, I had not seen the reunion yet, but now I have seen the reunion. Let's talk about it. So Josh and Jaylen, y'all, we are still talking about Burning Man. I cannot believe we are still talking about Burning Man. He wore that woman out so much about Burning Man that she just ended up going. Okay. She was like, maybe if I go, you would shut the hell up about it. So they did go to Burning Man together, and it was an experience for Jaylen. I think she had a good time. I don't think it's something that she would want to do every single year, but I think she did have a good time doing that. And that she did this just to appease him, even though the last episode before the Decision Day episode, he said that it wasn't going to be the same without her. And I thought he meant, well, I'm just not going to go, because he knew that she wasn't going to go because she was adamant about not going. And so I thought he was like, well, if you're not going to go, then I'm not going to go because it just won't be the same without you, as if he ever went there with her before. So I thought we were done with Burning Man, but on Decision Day, they talked about Burning Man again. Now we're at the reunion. We are still talking about Burning Man. So she did finally go. Unfortunately, Jaylen and Josh ended up breaking up 3 months ago. Josh told her that he no longer felt connected to her, I guess, during the breakup conversation. They talked about when and how they broke up. They couldn't agree on that. She said they broke up on vacation. He said they were not on vacation when they finally broke up. She said that she was blindsided by his decision to end the marriage because he never expressed any type of concern. He never told her that he was unhappy or that he had any issues with her. So she was completely blindsided when he told her that he wanted to break up with her. There was an incident Jaylen talked about where her and him were somewhere together at a bar or a restaurant or something. And there was a girl there. And Jaylen said that she had noticed that when Josh and this girl saw each other, she could tell that they knew each other. And so when she asked him, do you know her? Have you slept with her? He had said no, but she felt like there was some type of connection between Josh and this girl that they saw at this restaurant or bar. Jaylen said that Josh had completely switched on her because, she thought everything was great and she thought everything was fine until he told her that it wasn't. He told her that she wasn't adventurous enough for him. And she was like, what the hell do you mean by that? Because not only did I do Burning Man, but she swam with the sharks. They did a whole bunch of other stuff that was completely out of her comfort zone. And so she was like, what do you mean? I did so many things that you wanted to do that I normally would not do for myself. And even Britney and Megan even vouched for her. And they were like, yeah, she did a lot of stuff that she wasn't comfortable with, but she did it just to make him happy. So she didn't understand why he would say she wasn't adventurous enough for him. Now, Josh said that he would prefer that she loved to do the things that he loved to do. I guess he was trying to say, I don't want you to do things out of obligation. I want you to do these things because you truly do enjoy doing these things. Josh said that he lost himself in the relationship. He wanted her to, like I said before, he wanted her to have the same love for things that he loved. Jaylen said that Josh chases these highs. And that's why he's so driven to do all of these adventurous things, because he's constantly chasing the next high. Whenever I hear that someone is chasing a high, whether it's through something completely okay, like you want to do adventurous things, or some things that are kind of dangerous, like drugs or alcohol or whatever, it makes me think these people are not necessarily chasing a high. They're like really running away from something. Like he's trying to escape from something. He's trying to forget about something. And that's why he's constantly doing these things that are really out there and extreme. Megan and Britney were also shocked that Josh had broken up with Jaylen because nobody saw it coming. And my personal opinion, I think he was just interested in somebody else. When someone so abruptly ends a relationship like out of nowhere and the other person like totally did not see it coming at all, there were no arguments, there were no issues, and it's just all of a sudden one day, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. I think a lot of the times it's because that person who's doing the breaking up has already established a new relationship with somebody else, and that relationship is ready to take off, and so they tell their current partner, just out of nowhere, like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore with you, I'm breaking up with you. And I think it was because he probably found an interest in someone else. Jaylen said that he continued to lie about little things, and he denied that. And then he asked her, okay, where are your receipts? Prove it. What did I lie about? And she said, well, you got a new assistant, and you told me that your assistant was in her 40s, but she wasn't. She's in her 20s. So why would you lie about her age? Josh has definitely been dating. He's seeing other people, and he was also seen out with another woman. And I guess I don't know who it was that recorded him at this particular establishment. He was getting all cozy and dancing up on this girl who looked a lot like Jaylen, even though the girl's face was blurred out. She had like a lot of features that were similar to Jaylen, like the dark hair and everything. And so someone had recorded this video and they sent it to Jaylen, and I think it was the girls on the show, Megan or Britney or one of them, I don't know. And Josh, they said that whoever recorded Josh with this girl, whoever saw Josh at this place with this girl, said that Josh told them to not tell Jaylen that he was dating somebody else. I think this is after they broke up. And Josh denied. No, Josh was like, I think he confirmed it. He was like, yeah, I did tell him not to tell her because I didn't want her to hurt even more after we broke up. And everybody on stage was like, well, that's weird. Like, why would you tell her friends to not tell her that they saw you at this establishment with another woman? They're her friends. Of course they would tell her. And Kevin Frazier even said to Josh, like, if your friends saw your girlfriend or your ex with somebody else, wouldn't you want your friends to tell you? And he was like, no, I don't think I would want anybody to tell me that. So whatever. So, yeah, so Josh and Jaylen are over and done with. He continued to lie. Burning Man continued to be an issue. I have no idea why she said yes to him out on decision day, because just simply because of that, the fact that he was so obsessed about this Burning Man thing, it was abnormal and weird and strange that he was so crazy about this event, this festival. And I can understand you really enjoy something and you want to, experience it a lot. I totally understand that. But he made Burning Man his whole entire identity, and that's weird. And the fact that he continued to lie unnecessarily, like, why are you lying about the age of your assistant? Why are you doing that? Because you're making it look extremely suspicious. Moving on from then, Belinda and Chad, they also have broken up. They are no longer married. I was kind of confused with the timeline of everything, but I think what they said was when they got to the apartment after the honeymoon, I believe, when they moved into the apartment together, Belinda said everything had changed. Belinda said that the intimacy had changed. He was no longer initiating intimacy. Belinda herself, she says, I'm not an initiator. And so, but I'm willing to, do it if my partner wants to, but he was no longer initiating it with me. And I think Chad had blamed it on, him being too tired or something. Um, he brought up the dog. He blamed it on the dog as well. He brought up the dog being in the bed. And Belinda was like, I don't have a problem with removing the dog from the bed. It's not that big of a deal. But he never even would ask her, I guess, to remove the dog from the bed. And so she had no idea that it was bothering him that much. But that's the excuse that he gave, was that the dog was always in the bed. And he talked about how he would rather just watch TV and, be by himself at night. Like, he really wasn't interested, I guess, in intimacy with her. And she said that another big issue with them was his drinking, which I figured that was going to be an issue because, like, in the last couple of episodes, it was brought up a couple of times that he likes to relax at night with a drink, and he uses the alcohol to help him go to sleep. Now, at the reunion, Chad said that he has a problem sleeping. And he's up a lot. He's up until like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. After decision day, one of the incidents that happened between them was that their pets had an incident. He has a cat, she has a dog. So I guess when they were like together or something, I don't know, she was moving into his place or something. Um, her dog like charged at his cat, and I guess he was holding his cat or something, and the cat dug its claws into Chad's skin. And because the dog did this, he was it really bothered him, and he had like an irrational reaction to a dog being a dog. So the dog just naturally reacted to seeing the cat, and it really pissed him off. The cat wasn't harmed, he wasn't harmed, but it really pissed him off. And because of the fact that he has such a big reaction to her dog charging at her cat, she left. She said she got her dog, she got her stuff, and she left. Chad said that he wasn't going to play second fiddle to a dog, and that he's the alpha of the house. That was a very weird statement. Why do you feel like you're competing with a dog? That was a very strange statement. Why in your head, Chad, do you think or do you see yourself competing with a dog? So they showed a clip of Chad reacting to production again. The whole entire cast was together for some type of dinner or something, a crawfish, something. And there was an incident where I don't know what was exactly being discussed, but were they talking about the dog again? I don't know what they were talking about, but within this group setting, Belinda and Chad were having like a disagreement about something. And he completely like misinterpreted what Belinda had said. And so Jaylen had jumped in to try to clarify things. And he got really upset. Chad did. He got really upset. And because production is there, of course, doing their job. And because of the fact that Jaylen was standing up for her mom, he got up and he left. And, he just said, he started cussing everybody out. He was like, F y'all, referring to the cast and production. And his reaction was also, geared towards Jaylen as well, like because of whatever she said to stand up for her mom. He didn't like that, and he kind of mocked her, and it was so bad that Jaylen started crying. His reaction was so strong towards her, which is really unusual because we thought that they all got along. His reaction was so strong towards Jaylen that she actually started crying. So he said F y'all to the cast, to the crew, and I'm just trying to understand like why Belinda would have said yes to him on decision day. She had such an easy out. The fact that he's got a really bad temper. He cannot control his temper. He's a very mean person. And in my previous video about the decision day, I said that I actually like Chad. Well, after watching the reunion, I don't like Chad anymore. I don't like him anymore because he's very hurtful towards other people unnecessarily. And so I just don't understand how Belinda could have said yes to him. When Kevin asked him to explain his behavior, that particular incident that happened at the crawfish boil, where he told everybody to F off, or he said F you to everybody, Kevin was like giving him an opportunity to explain himself. And then he says to Kevin, well, if you would just shut up, I will give my side of the story. And it was like, where is all that coming from? What do you do? People are just trying to do their damn job. Your job is so important to you, Chad, right? Because you got upset that production was interfering with your work schedule. Their jobs are important to them as well. And they're asking you questions because that's what they're supposed to do. This is their job. And he tells Kevin Frazier, well, if he would just shut up, I'd explain my side of the story. And then he quickly calmed down and was apologetic. He has a problem. He has a bad, bad temper problem. No wonder this is his fourth marriage. So I was like, Belinda dodged a bullet with this one. She dodged a huge bullet. Chad once again apologizes to Belinda for how he acted, apologized for his behavior. And Kevin asked him, so why did you even sign up for the show? Because it seems like you were not having a good time. Why did you even sign up for the show? And he was like, well, I thought it was divine intervention. And he said, but it was all very overwhelming. Yeah, stay away from reality TV, Chad. Please stay away from reality TV. Belinda said that it always felt like she was walking on eggshells around him because he would pop off randomly, and you wouldn't know exactly what would set him off. So you didn't know when the bomb was going to explode with him. So she was constantly walking around eggshells. She also said that production walked around eggshells as well around Chad. No wonder they gave him such a bad edit. No wonder they showed all of his really bad moments to make him look like, he's some kind of psychotic, abusive person, because of the fact that he was horrible to them and they were not nice to him at all as far as how they made him look on television. They were like, hey, we try to do our best to present people in their best light, but with you, we're going to let it roll. We're going to show them all the raw footage of you acting up in here. I don't think anything was edited out of context. I think this man is this explosive. I think he has a lot of, I don't know if it's because maybe he was in combat and so he's struggling with PTSD, but he's got a lot of stuff built up inside of him. And the way that it comes out, it's kind of scary. So Kevin brought up the whole text message thing, where he had told Belinda that Josh told him that production was trying to create a problem or cause a wedge between him and Jaylen. And so Kevin was like, what exactly was exchanged in that text? Now, Josh said, I don't remember ever. He didn't say I don't remember. I think he said, I've never inferred or alluded to production interfering with my relationship with Jaylen. I've never said that. I've never texted that to anybody. And then Chad all of a sudden couldn't remember exactly what was said. All of a sudden, his memory is faulty. He doesn't really remember what the exchange was all about or what was said. Belinda even said that Chad was trying to convince her that production was creating a problem between in their relationship as well, causing a wedge or putting a wedge in between her and Chad. He was trying to convince her of that. Like I said, Josh confirmed he had no issue with production and didn't believe that they were interfering with his relationship with Jaylen. Belinda now is currently dating someone else. And so they're no longer, Chad and Belinda are done with. Britney and Will, wow. I think this was probably the most disappointing because they didn't even give it a chance. Britney and Will, they haven't spoken in over a year and a half. Will ended things soon after decision day. So remember on decision day, that morning, he had called her and told her that he was going to say no, but she doesn't take no for an answer. So when they ended up showing up on set on decision day in front of the experts, Will had every intention of saying no to her. So she pled her case. She convinced him that they need to give it a shot, give it a chance. She cried. She apologized for past behavior. She was like, I didn't appreciate you enough. I should have appreciated you more. I should have expressed my love for you more. I should have told you exactly how I felt about you. I was doing this. I was doing that wrong. So she went through the whole rigmarole, right? A full production she gave him, trying to convince him. She really argued her case. She argued it so well that she was able to convince stubborn Will to change his mind. And so as she was talking and pouring her heart out, he started crying. Dr. Pepper was crying. I think even Pastor Cal shed a couple of tears. It was like a very emotional moment. And so he ended up saying yes to her. Well, she said that a week after decision day, he left. No, soon after that day of decision day, he had to leave, I guess, for a work trip. He was gone for a few days. He comes back and then they show us the footage. And it's never a good sign when they show us footage of inside their apartment from the security camera. So they're having a conversation on the couch and he tells her that he didn't want to be with her anymore. He told her straight up, point blank, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore with you. And he got his suitcase, and as he's walking out the door, she's following him to the door and she's begging him to stay. She's telling him, please don't do this, say that you love me. And he wasn't trying to hear none of that. And he walked out of that door. He crossed that threshold and he was gone. And they haven't talked since. No, I'm sorry, I take it back. They talked the next day. There was some type of a barbecue or something that the cast was having, and yeah, they kind of talked about their breakup and what happened and so on and so forth. Not very interesting. It never made it to the actual season. It was edited out. Anywho, it's been a year and a half since they've talked, and Britney doesn't take no for an answer. So after they broke up, she was still trying to work things out with him. I think they were having a conversation on the phone. According to Will, Britney said something very rude, and so he ended up blocking her. So when she was blocked, what does she do? She writes him a letter and doesn't just put it in the mail. She went to this man's apartment to drop off the letter. And I don't know if she taped it to his door or had someone give it to him, but he said he never read the letter. He claims that after she dropped off the letter, that she kept coming back to his apartment. And she said, yes, I did, but I was coming there because I was coming there to see Jaylen, because Jaylen lives in the same complex. And so I was coming there to see Jaylen, not you. And I'm like, girl, you knew you were stalking that man. You knew you were coming there to look for him. So I was like kind of shocked. And she said that she's been through a lot of therapy. She's done a lot of soul searching. She's like a different Britney now. She's a lot calmer. She's not so reactive. I hope so, because girl, you're giving like stalker behavior, obsessive behavior, like you were obsessed with this man. And he said that the reason why he was so blunt with her when they broke up was because she doesn't take no for an answer. She'll keep trying to plead her case to the point where he has to be very, very firm with her and be like, I don't want to be with you. Go away. Get out of my face. Britney then said that she never questioned that he loved her. She said that she knew that he loved her. So like, but you questioned it on the show a lot. You question on the show quite a bit. Like, you know, what do you mean when you say you love me? Are you obligated to love me? She questioned it a lot on the show. But I know that she was trying to search for something. She felt, obviously she was in doubt. The whole entire marriage, she was in doubt of how he really felt about her. And so she was constantly looking for something, trying to hang on to something to let her know, to reassure her that this man really wants to be with me and that we're going to be committed. And she could never find it because he never gave her that reassurance. And I wish that she was not so determined to look for it and try to like dig for this answer or dig for this confirmation and just let things be. You know, just take this opportunity to get to know each other better and let him be the one to chase you. Let him be the one to try to figure you out and just enjoy the moment for what it is. But for whatever reason, nobody on this show wants to do that. It's always, what are you going to say on decision day? How do you feel about me? What's going on between us? It's constantly analyzing the relationship instead of trying to take advantage of the little time that you have just to get to know each other. So Britney and Will are done. Not together anymore. Pat and Rhonda. They also are not married. They stayed together for 9 months. Pat's, what was it? He said that his physical needs were not being met, basically. They weren't doing it enough for him. Rhonda said that his insecurity was a big turnoff. So there was a time, I guess, in the relationship when the sex stopped. And that's when he felt like his physical needs were not being met. She said the reason why the sex stopped was because she was no longer attracted to him. She said that his insecurity was a big turnoff. And she talked about how, like on decision day, the fact that he showed up to say no, but ended up saying yes was a turnoff for her. She wanted him to stick with his decision, stand firm on whatever his decision was, and, you know, be a man about it instead of being wishy-washy. You came there with one answer, then you changed it to a whole nother answer. And I was like, girl, how dare you, Rhonda? How dare you? How dare you use the fact that this man wanted to give you another chance? You're going to turn it around and use it against him. That is some nasty work, Rhonda. Nasty, nasty work. And she kind of gave this impression at the reunion that, hey, I wouldn't have cared if he would have said yes or no. I didn't really care. But she said yes too. And if it was such a turnoff that he changed his mind, at what point did you realize that it was a turnoff? Why didn't you say on decision day, you know what, it's a real turnoff for me that you came here to say no, but now you actually want to be with me and that's turning me off, that you didn't stick with your no, that you didn't stick with your rejection of me, so I'm going to say no. Why didn't you just say no on decision day? Why did you drag it out for 9 damn months? And now you're going to get on this television show and tell the world, yeah, I didn't want to sleep with him because his indecisive, the fact that he decided to choose me was a turnoff. Rhonda said that Pat told her that if he's not having sex, he's not feeling worthy or loved. Rhonda felt like he just wanted a wife, not necessarily her. Whatever the situation is, Pat dodged a damn bullet. Whatever the situation is, he dodged a damn bullet. And good for you, Pat, for being able to walk away from this mess. Let's talk about Derek and Megan. Unfortunately, Megan suffered a miscarriage. I was so excited to hear baby news, but no, she suffered a miscarriage. Really, really sad to hear that. Really difficult to watch a woman talk about something, so tragic and so traumatic like that. And that caused a strain in their relationship. And Megan said that when they were like falling apart, she'd even suggested couples therapy, but I guess he didn't want to go. She said that Derek broke up with her over the phone. Derek told her that he didn't love her anymore, according to Megan. He told her that he didn't love her anymore. Derek said that he realized that she wasn't the person for him. Yeah, but then you turn around and get her pregnant. She wasn't the person for you, but then you turn around and you got her pregnant. Megan said that he didn't handle her very well at all. It's just I'm trying to like look. Megan for a long time was not my favorite. Up until she got pregnant, that's when I kind of started to sort of soften up to her just a little bit. But she wasn't my favorite. But if a woman has gone through something like this, where she's lost her child or had a miscarriage, I would think that I don't know what happened between them, but I would have think that he would have been even more supportive. He would have been, because he really made it seem like, you know what? I don't know if Derek has a pregnancy kink or what's going on, because he's like very obsessed with having a baby, because their whole storyline centered around wanting children, and then she got pregnant. And then now we find out after they broke up, he's dating someone else, and he's been dating her for 7 months. And he even commented at the reunion and said that his girlfriend is excited to be a mom. Like, he's talking about kids again. Anywho, Megan said that she saw his profile on some dating app as he was dating this other woman, and Derek denied it. He said that, he does not have a profile on this particular dating app. He's not doing that. He's very committed to his current girlfriend. And it seems like despite what we saw on TV after they found out they were pregnant, because it seemed like they were getting along a lot better once she got pregnant, and they presented that on TV like they were getting along, but I guess there was a lot of underlying issues with them. Whatever issues they had before pregnancy, I'm pretty sure those issues still existed when she was pregnant. And I don't know if she was still just as mean to him, because we didn't see that anymore. We didn't see any more outbursts from her on television. So I don't know exactly what was going on, but it seemed like the only thing that was keeping them together was the pregnancy, because when she lost the baby, the relationship was over. And that was really, really sad. So we are done with season 19 of Married at First Sight. I thank you all so much for watching my reviews on this show. I thank you for the views. I thank you for the ratings. I thank you for the comments. I truly do, because you don't have to give me any energy at all. So the love that you showed me throughout the season, I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I do, because that's what makes doing all of this worthwhile. So hopefully they've already shown us the preview. Did I say season 19? I don't know what season this is. They've already shown us the previews, or season 9? It can't be season 9. I don't know what season this is. They already shown us the preview for the next season of Married at First Sight. And if I'm still breathing, I will definitely be here to give those reviews as well. And I really hope that all of you will come back and join me again for the mess. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.